Creeps, cretins, madhouse maniacs, welcome back to another episode of the Movies from the Madhouse podcast, where all your nightmares come true, or some other such bullshit catchphrase. I'm Master Seth, your master of ceremonies.
And I'm Mistress Dandela, your queen of creep.
We've got a fun one for you tonight. Indeed. I say that every time.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
Okay, so I watched this movie. I found it on Troma Now.
So much.
Troma Now, I highly recommend Troma Now. It's got all the Troma stuff, plus lots of other stuff, and you know that your $5 a month is going straight to Troma.
Yeah.
Which helps keep them out of bankruptcy. But if you absolutely refuse to subscribe to Troma Now, you can also see this for free on Peacock or Tubi or Plex, and it wouldn't surprise me if you could find it all kinds of other places. I watched it the other night, and I came to bed, and I woke Mistress Dandelion up and said, I just saw the best movie I ever seen in my life, and I made her watch it, and she was like, I'm gonna fall asleep, we cannot watch the movie.
It was the middle of the night, and I had to work the next day.
It wasn't even the night, it was... No, I guess it was. It was still night when I went in there. I didn't go in there at 4 like I sometimes... It ended at about 4:30.
Yeah.
When we watched it. I still haven't said the name of the movie.
Oh, so much fun, though. Oh, my goodness.
Although if anybody read the title of the podcast, they know what the movie is. But still, nonetheless. Maybe they're in their car and they finished listening to the Sinister Six, which is one... And now it's moved on to this one.
Yeah.
And they didn't have time to look down because for fear of running into a truck or a pedestrian.
Indeed.
Anyway, the movie, we watched the whole goddamn thing.
Oh, it was so much fun. I could not stop. I could not. It was a blast. It's unlike anything I had ever seen in my whole life.
Oh, it's a pretty common story.
Oh no, but it was really bizarre.
Lots of movies are just like Nightmare Weekend.
No, it was like, and maybe it's because, okay, y'all.
Oh shit, I said the name.
It was, oh yeah, he did. It was the middle of the night when he woke me up, so it was very surreal and strange. And the movie was really weird. And yes, you did just slip it.
That's all right. Slipping in. The movie has a lot of slipping in it.
It does. There's lots of boring sex or non-erotic.
All of the sex scenes are boring. Really, they're the most boring sex scenes. We'll just get the shit out of the way real quick. It's Nightmare Weekend.
Nightmare Weekend.
When the fuck was this made? Was this 1986? 86? I thought it was earlier than that. No, 86 feels right.
No, it actually seems earlier because it was probably made slightly earlier and then put out in 86.
And we'll get into. I didn't read too many details. I read a few. I should have read more, but we'll get into some of those suspicions I have about it. Before we get into it, what else is going on?
Oh, yeah.
What else is going on? We saw Pearl.
I loved it.
Pearl was fantastic. I thought Pearl was better than X.
Great.
Some people didn't.
I loved X, but I loved Pearl even more.
I thought X was really good.
It was.
It was. Whereas Pearl was really good because it wasn't anything else. Pearl's a one-of-a-kind movie.
Oh, it is. I loved it so much.
I thought Pearl was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Mia Goth was amazing.
Mia Goth was great in it.
Oh my god, there's very many moments in that movie, but her monologue in that movie is one of the greatest things I have ever encountered.
There are people saying that it was the latest example of horrors being snubbed at the Oscars. And maybe it's true. It was a wonderful performance.
Yeah, it was a wonderful performance.
And folks always put it with Toni Collette in Hereditary as another Oscar snub. That performance was every bit as good, I would say. Toni Collette in Hereditary was fantastic.
I hate thinking of, like, the Oscars as, snubbing folks, but they always do. But, like, this last one, I was so excited about what happened at the Oscars that I can't be, I'm doing my best not to be upset
There's
about
no
anything
reason to be
else,
upset
you know?
about it, really, because in the end, fuck the Oscars. It's
Right.
Hollywood patting itself on the back.
Right. I mean, 95 years of a bunch of shit.
90% of the time, it's
yeah.
shit. It's just a garbage awards show. This year, we got lucky. Everything
We
Everywhere All
did.
at Once was great.
Oh, God, that was amazing.
You liked it even better than I did.
Of course. I am this strange little mistress.
It was one of those fun years where we got to see people like Encino Man and Short Round win Oscars and shit, you know?
It was
Where the most
amazing.
serious actress of the bunch is a kung fu star. You know?
She was
And Jamie Lee
amazing.
got her shit too.
I know. It was great.
It was fun.
That was pretty. We were lucky this year.
Yeah. But again, yeah, Pearl was great. Pearl deserves not only actress stuff, but I mean it was wonderfully edited and directed, all that shit. God, we're talking about these movies like they compare to the movie that we're gonna talk about, Nightmare Weekend.
Ooh.
I don't know what's better between Pearl and Nightmare Weekend. You go on IMDb, there's lots of reviews saying that Nightmare Weekend is like the worst movie ever made, and I don't
disagree with that.
I mean, here's the thing: and some people even say boring.
No way.
To me, that's the only thing that's the biggest sin a movie can commit. Is making you bored. I'm not the originator of that phrase. Other people have said it. Boredom is the ultimate failure of a film.
I agree.
And then again, it's all subjective. I fucking loved Skinamarink.
I really need to watch all of it.
Yeah.
I was enjoying my experience with it so much.
And a lot of people, they just think it was boring. In fact, you did fall asleep. And a lot of people are like, ooh, I found a cure for insomnia. All this shit.
I fell asleep not because I was bored,
It was terribly late.
Because it was terribly late, and I insisted upon being in our big giant bed in the middle of the night in the dark,
which is a good way to watch it.
That's all I wanted. I wanted to be like little kids in the middle of the night in the dark, and I was enjoying it thoroughly. I didn't fall asleep because I was bored. It was just so very otherworldly for me. I loved it. I was loving it.
I don't know if I call it like a great film or something. It's so different from anything that's been ever released, really, at least on a major scale, you know. I mean, I guess people have compared it to Eraserhead. There's not as much in it as there is in Eraserhead by any means. I guess maybe they're talking about their uneasiness while watching it.
Yeah.
But other people felt it didn't feel uneasy at all. Other people said that basically compared it to watching, paint dry, grass growing. Yeah,
that's because a lot of people can't slow down. And because, everybody is very different. But there are plenty of people out there that are used to things moving so quickly.
We're conditioned for it.
Something like Skinamarink is so moody and so meant to. You should be very slowed down when you watch it. You need to feel all the nuances and.
Right.
I mean, I'm an empath, so it's easy for me. I'm a strange one, but. I don't know.
Some of our listeners might not be old enough to remember this feeling, but you really need to watch it in the same state that you would watch a scary movie before cell phones existed, before the internet, before streaming existed for sure.
Yeah.
Where you put it on and it's what's on. And you watch it and it's late at night, everyone else is fucking asleep.
Your TV could be fucked up. Shit could be off, Yeah.
So anyway, I recommend Skinamarink, but it's one of those movies. I understand people not liking it. We're conditioned for faster paced things. It started with music videos, really. True, that was kind of and I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Write to us, all that shit. But I feel like the speeding up and the shortening of attention span in the young people started with MTV. And I'm not saying anything bad about this. I'm not saying anything negative about this. I'm saying fast-paced shit is fine. Short shit is fine. I just don't want people to disable their patience.
Right.
Because it will ruin the experience of a lot of movies. You already see it. I mean, even movies where a lot of shit does happen, people are like, it was too slow.
I know. And we've seen some really beautiful movies lately that are rather different and rather slow. Oh my God, what was that movie?
Well, fuck, Pearl might count as one, but still.
Pearl, indeed. There was one, though, that we watched recently. Was it Kuroneko?
Kuroneko, yes.
Oh my God.
Kuroneko.
I
That was lovely.
Loved it.
The Japanese horror films of the 50s
loved
and
it.
60s are just gorgeous. I wish I was more of a scholar on that shit.
Absolutely haunting. Absolutely gorgeous. Such a beautiful story. So gorgeous. I loved it. And that's another thing that, like, that movie, I don't know, you have to really take it in and take a moment to really, let it sink in and watch it and slow down.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that especially America has forgotten about the fact that it's possible for films to just be based around images.
Yes.
Foreign filmmakers are always great at this. Italians are fantastic at it.
Oh, yes.
The Japanese and Koreans are fantastic at it. These films that are just based around imagery. Germans have been good at it for many. Although I'll be honest, I haven't seen any modern German films that I can think of. I'm a big fan of old German movies, but I haven't seen a lot of newer German films. So I have been watching documentaries about film studies, hence maybe some of the ways this conversation is going before we delve into Nightmare fucking Weekend.
Nightmare Weekend.
Nightmare Weekend, made by a French guy.
It's such a strange thing.
I looked up the director of Nightmare Weekend, and Nightmare Weekend is the only film he ever made that has a title that's in English.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the rest of them are French movies.
Oh, we should watch all of his stuff.
I doubt it's available. He was not like I mean, he may have been prolific, but he was. Hold on, I'm looking up some of this shit. No, because there was one word I did recognize.
Oh yeah.
Even in the French ones. And can you guess what name that was? Emmanuel.
Oh, Emmanuel.
He made an Emmanuel movies. He made another one called Erotica Mon Amour.
Oh, Erotica.
Oh, here's one called
Amour.
Secte Pornographique.
Nice.
So yeah, he
made some.
Here's
yummy...
Club. Excuse my terrible French accent. Club Porno pour Châté Engagés. With the word porno in it. I said it.
Yes.
Candide Lolita.
Candida Lolita.
Candide. Candid with an E on the end of it. Lolita.
Well, we need to watch some of his other films.
Well, perhaps we can find them on the internet. I don't think we're going to find them on a streaming service.
Perhaps we'll get lucky. I don't know. I would really like to watch that stuff. I enjoyed this movie so much. It was so
Well,
weird.
you know what I can say about this movie, as opposed to the rest of his movies? It's quality, not quantity. It made me feel so deep down good.
So
we'll get
fine.
to all that.
So fine.
Okay, so are we done with the small talk? We talked about Pearl.
I think we did. Are we done with the small talk?
Are we done with the small talk? Nobody's really arguing about things. I usually bring up stuff people are arguing about in the horror community, For a little while, it was Terrifier 2.
God, Terrifier 2 was amazing.
Terrifier 2 was great. I've watched it so many times.
Oh my God, it's so great.
I can't remember if we talked about it on the last podcast. I can't remember.
I don't know, but we should always talk about
great.
that.
We can always talk about Terrifier 2. That was fantastic. That's created arguments as far, even among Terrifier fans that are like, it's no good. It's not like Terrifier. It's not dark and mean and gritty. And I get that, but I like Terrifier 2 much more.
Oh my gosh, it was so joyful and wonderful.
Oh, something I thought about last night. Even though Pearl is technically a prequel, but I think a prequel is a type of sequel.
Yeah. And it's,
2022 was the year where we saw two, and this never happens, two sequels that far surpassed the originals, in my personal opinion. I thought Terrifier 2 was much better than Terrifier, and I like Terrifier, but I loved Terrifier 2. I think I've seen Terrifier 2 now more times than I've seen Terrifier.
I agree. You've seen it even more than I have, and it's...
And I thought Pearl was much better than X, personally.
I loved it. I loved Pearl even more than X.
I don't know if it was a better film, but I enjoyed it more.
I mean, I loved Mia Goth's performance in X because of her split performance, obviously. And as someone...
Right, but I never felt either one of them
acting,
was as nuanced as the one character in Pearl.
I know, that's the thing. I feel that too. I was already really excited about X, and any actor that really, or actress that is able to create two different, performances in that way, two different characters, is exhilarating to me. And her different performances were wonderful. I mean, incredible. But yeah, Pearl, I felt that was such a layered performance. And her monologue, as I said earlier, was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in any movie of all, like in any time. Not just now, not just current, but ever. It was gorgeous.
It was also a wonderfully done, and I know I mentioned this before, that it was an homage to those 40s movies, but I thought it really hit the notes.
Yes.
I thought it hit the notes.
Oh, it was so
the camera
amazing.
angles, the way the colors worked, it worked totally on all those Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
I've started looking at fucking YouTube videos and shit, and people are talking about how, that there was a scarecrow in it.
Yes. Indeed.
And that and then they start talking about how the dad plays the role of the Tin Man.
Yes.
And then I turn my ears off and I'm like, oh, I love digging deep into movies, but now you're going too far.
I know. I loved how it made my heart feel about it, because I love that stuff, and I do.
Yeah.
Like Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite things ever in the world. But all of that, just big movie that way, that heart-soaring stuff, and I think that Pearl nailed it. It was great.
We keep drifting back to Pearl. I blame Pot a little bit, but
well, I mean, we do live in Oregon,
but right, but
we have some really good weeds.
Yeah, people, there aren't I haven't seen any hardcore arguments going on, right? Even Scream 6 isn't causing massive arguments. People seem to be accepting it. Everybody's like, hey, Scream 6 was good. It was a Scream movie.
Well, then
Scream movies are never that controversial.
Then it's a rare moment.
A rare low.
Yeah.
People were arguing about Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, well, I'm not into that.
I would see it. I'm not itching to see it. I don't care that much, but I would see it. I'll see anything. But I'm not itching for it.
I have no desire.
I know.
None.
I know.
None. I don't like it.
So yeah, usually I usually spend a good chunk of this podcast bitching about the discord in the genre film community, but no, everybody seems to be all right for the moment.
That's lovely. I love that.
You know,
peace among the family. That's good. That's very
Oh,
good.
Skinamarink was the other one people were arguing about.
Well, people,
But we already
as I
touched
said,
on that.
like,
We already
people
talked
just
about
don't get it. Some people just, they need to slow down. You know, they need to breathe a little. Maybe sit in the absolute darkness. I mean, when was the last time you watched a movie in absolute darkness? You know, it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's great. Especially those type of movies. Skinamarink is creepiest, I think. Creepy darkness.
I loved it.
I just need to finish it.
Right. See, I often say I don't hate a movie until the credits rolled.
Yeah,
know?
see,
Some
I
people-
don't know. I have to be honest. I loved it.
And
but
you loved it, and you don't even know how it
I
ends.
know.
However, enough people have ruined it for you, saying it really doesn't totally. It just kind of happens. The movie is on, and then it's done.
Well, I was enjoying every moment of that.
I dug it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's one of those ones I can understand so much why somebody wouldn't. We're 26 minutes in. No, it's not 26 because we were recording for a long time before we actually started trying to put this out.
What is that kid doing?
Oh, she's fucking with my backpack.
Oh, if y'all could see, we have like this wild, feral baby that is a little black kitten that just terrorizes everything. Oh, goodness.
All right, Nightmare Weekend.
Okay.
Nightmare Weekend.
Let's
I woke
do
you
it.
up in the middle of the night to tell
You
you I'd
did.
seen the best movie I'd ever seen
Oh
in my
my
life.
God.
Like I said, I think I said before on IMDb, a lot of people say this is the worst movie ever made.
I
And
don't
this is
agree.
another one of these. I get it. I understand what you're saying, but you're fucking wrong.
I agree on the fact that people don't get that.
The worst
They're wrong.
the worst thing a movie can do is be boring. What?
Yeah, being boring is absolutely the worst. Can you, are you going to put that song in? Can we listen to that Nightmare Weekend? Or Nightmare
I'm going to
Weekend
see if I
song?
can put it in. I don't know if I can put it in for sure.
Can we listen to it like just, or will it sound bad?
It'll
if we
sound
just,
like shit.
You are a nightmare. You have a hold on me. You move in silence. You will not speak to me.
Okay, so we're finally going to get into Nightmare Weekend. Nightmare Weekend, 1980. We just did this.
I think it was, you said 1987, but I swear they must have made it earlier and like put it out a little later. It took them a while to make it or something.
Yeah, so yeah, again, we'll get to, because it does feel that way.
It does feel that way.
The way it's put together, it feels like
I
there
mean, I
were things
lived
that were
through the
shot
80s.
that maybe weren't supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
Maybe things that weren't shot that were supposed to be in it. Yeah, it was directed by this French guy, Henry Sala, who pretty much looks like just did erotic movies. So if you haven't seen it, again, you can see it on Troma now, you can see it on Plex, you can see it on Tubi. Just to warn you, now is the time where we're going to start going into the movie, and there's going to be spoilers.
That's right. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. And then come back to us.
Although we already told you some people say it's the worst movie ever made, so maybe you have a lot more fun listening to people talk about movies like that than you do watching them. You might watch it and be like, I wish I'd have just listened to the thing. Do it however you want to do it. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, do it however you want to do it.
You're gonna anyway.
That's right.
You people don't listen. Okay. So we open.
Nightmare Weekend.
You remember the first scene is with airplane propellers.
Yeah, exactly.
If I remember correctly, the only airplane scene in the film. I don't know. It's like they had an airplane for
3 minutes.
an hour, and they were like, let's put it in the movie. So these bikers get off the airplane and immediately get onto their bikes. And they're on a walkie-talkie with this woman, right? And she's like, good luck, or some shit.
Yeah.
And they get on their way. And they bike on down the road. And then there's this they kind of they show up at this mansion, right?
Yes.
And they're starting to scale the walls and shit. They're grappling hooking and shit. They're climbing the walls. And then, okay, so then we cut to, we hear this alarm, right? And there's a fucking puppet.
There's a puppet.
There's this creepy ass puppet.
And it's not just a puppet. It's a puppet with like a straight up like side combed hair and shit.
Made of green felt.
Made of green
yarn.
Yeah.
And he's chanting, danger, danger.
Yeah.
And so we're good. We're a good 45 seconds into the film. We're like, what the fuck is this?
The hell is happening here?
He's chanting danger. And these bikers are trying to get into this goddamn house. And the one who's grappling hooking around, his necklace gets caught on something, right? And it ends up on the ledge, you know. So this guy's necklace gets caught, right?
Yeah.
And then we see kind of like, this is, God, you really need to watch this movie. None of this, I'm realizing how hard this is to explain.
It is so hard.
I'm not going to go as in
explain.
depth for the rest of the movie as I am right now, because we're like 90 seconds into the film. We see the shape of the necklace on like a computer screen, and then we cut back to the shot of the necklace, and then all of a sudden there's a little silver ball there.
Yes.
Like the size of a pinball.
Like all of a sudden the necklace is completely just changed into
And
a ball.
And then grappling hook guy, we see the ball fly, and then it's in his face. And it makes his eyes pop out and shit. And it makes him fall, I guess, to his death.
Yeah.
And then we see the blood dripping down the stairs, and then we get the freeze frame. And it says Nightmare Weekend. And has,
Oh my
one of the most perfect theme songs.
You are a nightmare fantasy.
It's so good. I hope we are able to like share it with you. If not, you just...
You are a nightmare. You are a fantasy. Oh, fuck.
So
It is good. It is good. Oh, boy. And we get the whole credits and all the names. I mean, I guess they're French, but they all look like somebody took somebody's name and put all the letters in one of those bingo.
Oh, honey,
jumblers,
you're so bad.
and then put all the words together.
Don't listen
all the
to
letters
him.
together.
He's rotten. He's very rotten when it comes to folks' names. You're rotten bad?
I'm not rotten.
Too. You are.
So, because it's 1986, there's a bunch of girls in the gym doing aerobics.
Yeah, with their cute little belts on.
And here's the thing: they were talking to each other about something that I thought might be I think might have been important. I think it might have been something about the plot of the film, but I was still talking about how absurd I was still thinking about how absurd the last scene had been, that I wasn't listening to them at all. They were just doing their aerobics, and I thought, oh, this is just setup that I don't need to know about. But it feels like if I had listened to them, maybe I would understand future events better.
I don't know.
In the film.
As far as I remember, it was just like...
Because they might have been talking about why they were going to that
some
fucking
small
mansion.
talk.
We never found out why they were going to that mansion. That chauffeur just picked them up.
Yeah.
The three girls.
Yeah, I
The three
remember.
girls doing aerobics. That's why. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. You know. But yeah, I don't know. And anyway, we cut from the gym to this bitch. I'm going to call her a bitch now because I refer to her as bitch for pages of notes.
Well, and that's like her whole
I can't remember her name.
character. I mean, I will say that like bitch also, you know, means like hardcore woman in power, and that is her role in this movie. Is
She
a very
sucks.
one-dimensional. She's this very one-dimensional character that instead of she's like woman in charge and mean.
Well,
she's like mean.
She's a
woman in
bitch.
charge.
She's a boss
No.
bitch then.
Yeah, but usually boss
But she's not
bitch
even the boss.
Doesn't just mean like, you know, someone that's terribly awful. It just
She's
means
awful.
someone that's in charge.
I know,
No.
but she's
she's a
Okay, fine. Semantics. She was a bitch. I stand by it.
well.
I stand by it. She's a fucking bitch.
She was definitely not
In the
very
classical
nice.
sense of the word. I mean, I have her... okay, so here we go. I have her listed in my notes as meanest woman ordering people around. And I have a quote from her. This is the quote to the maid. She's ordering the maid and the butler around. And when the maid goes to do her job, you know what she says to the maid?
I remember. Tell us.
You may look innocent, but you're a slut, just like your mother.
Your mother. Yeah, you're a slut.
No reason.
Just like your mother. And this happens within the first, 15 minutes of the movie. She just, starts off the movie with that.
The movie's jumping back. It's kind of difficult to decide who the main character is in this film. Who, do you know? I mean, we haven't reached anybody who could be considered the main, except, although, it's possible bitch might be the main character.
She's like...
I'm sorry, if
Really?
it's more correct to say, I can say, that terrible bitch. Is that better?
Pretty rotten.
She might be the main character. She might be.
She might be.
We haven't met the main characters yet. I don't think.
No, not yet. They're we've met them.
It
but
jumps
they haven't-
around.
But they haven't taken their place
So
yet.
trying to listen to this right now is just as confusing as trying to watch the movie.
Well, yeah, because the movie is completely bizarre. This movie is like nothing
It's one
as
of a
I
kind.
said earlier, it
Like
is
Pearl.
one of a
It's
kind.
one of a kind.
And you haven't seen anything like it. And it's bizarre. It's strange. And even even the woman that's considered the bitch, she is just this, she's very bizarre, one-layered, bitch. She just is
like Billy.
intense. But Billy is layered.
Billy's not layered.
She is.
We're talking about Billy from Creepshow. If
Billy
you don't know,
from Creepshow.
this woman reminded me of
layered.
Billy from Creepshow. That's another terrible bitch.
Yeah, but Billy from Creepshow holds this there's regret and anger, and she's not being, I don't know, there's something about her where she's she holds a lot more in her. She's not as one-dimensional.
I have never heard anyone defend fucking Billy in my life.
No, she is.
You are defending Billy.
No, but
Yes, you
far as
are.
a character, as far as a character goes, I don't think she's as one-dimensional as this person that's playing.
She might
I
not be as
forget.
one-dimensional,
What
but
is her name even?
the terrible bitch.
No, but what's her actual?
I don't remember.
Right? See,
It's mentioned a couple times.
I know,
I was like,
but
I'm
you
going to
don't
remember
remember
that.
it,
And then I
but
remember
I
that the
don't
scientist's daughter's name was
either.
Jessica. And then that
That's
took up
terrible.
all my brain power. I couldn't remember what the bitch's name was.
yeah. All I know is Adrienne Barbeau is a far better actress. And so
Oh, yes, of course.
And so her acting performance is far more layered and rounded, and to me it feels deeper.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
You better give,
I'll give
it
it
to
to
me, because that's exactly what I think. That's how I feel about it.
Well, yeah.
Adrienne Barbeau is a fucking queen, so I think she's great at what she does, and you do too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying they're similar characters. They come from the same...
we do agree. She's trying to be a Billy.
Right.
She's trying to be.
She's bumbling at it. She's a Billy bumbler.
She's a Billy bumbler.
She's a Billy bumbler. Anyway, she's just being a bitch before we cut to, oh boy, what is it called? The Stagecoach Bar or whatever it is?
I don't
Stage
know.
something.
Some, like,
but a lot of the
mini
movie
mall.
takes place at it.
It's like in some mini mall or
Oh,
whatever.
I don't think it was a mini mall, was it?
What was it? It's like this. It looks like the Round Table Pizza place. I don't know.
It kind of does. A lot more video games than were in normal bars in 1986.
Yeah, it was the original barcade. Is that what the Nightmare said that while he was watching it? Yeah, the original barcade kind of place with bunches of video games and unusual dancing.
You know, I don't know what the scene was for. Nothing happened in this scene. And that's actually something I've seen that's a complaint by some of the people who say it's one of the worst movies. They're like, scenes don't have a point. I'm like, the point is the scene exists.
Yeah, it exists.
I mean, at this bar, this bar, we meet a guy who drinks a flask because they don't serve liquor. It's mentioned that this bar doesn't serve liquor. They just serve beer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Beer and wine. So you got this chauffeur that's there all the time drinking liquor from a goddamn flask in between two pieces of bread.
Yeah, but he's not even drinking it out of a flask. It's just a little bottle.
Well,
of
yeah, it's a
booze
little bottle. It's a little pint bottle of
between
booze.
two pieces of bread.
It's wonderful. The bar is where we get introduced to Tony,
Yeah.
who walks around jiving out on his Walkman.
Yeah, he's
all
always
the time.
dancing.
He's
and
always
he's
dancing.
Off.
He's always dancing.
Oh,
He's
my
always
God.
dancing. He dances
He's not very
to the
good at
Walkman.
it. Yeah.
Nobody in this movie is good at dancing.
Nobody in this movie is good at dancing. And they're always dancing, especially if they have headphones.
Especially if they have headphones.
Indeed.
Who else do we meet? The mysterious mustache man who's in so much of the movie, and we never know anything about him except that he's fucking horny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
The bartender who has like 2 lines, he's in this scene. You know, and a couple of bikers, you know. One biker is the biker who played Louis Creed from Pet Sematary.
Oh, that's right.
Louis Creed, Stephen
That's
King's
right.
Pet Sematary, which
He's
came out a
super
few years
young.
later. No, here's the thing about Pet Sematary. I always thought that actor, I don't remember his name, but he was the one who played Louis Creed, and Dale Midkiff is his name. He played Louis Creed in Pet Sematary. I always thought that he was the worst part of Pet Sematary. I did. I always thought he was the least believable
totally
character.
see that. I
which
agree.
which is sad.
He pulled us out of it.
Because if
yeah.
you've read the book, the dad is the absolute 100% most important character in the book.
Right.
If you're looking to empathize with a character. And he was the worst part of the movie.
Pulled you right out of the whole thing.
No, I like Pet Sematary, but I don't love Pet Sematary. A lot of people love Pet Sematary. It's not that high for me. I like Pet Sematary, and I like it a lot more than I used to. Because I used to like it much less. Well, that's just logical. If I like it better than I used to, that's because I used to like it less.
That movie affects me.
I always thought Zelda was scary.
Zelda
was always one of those
really-
scary things. It's not expected.
It affects, like, that movie really affects me. I'm really empathic, and so...
Well, it affects
I
me now
don't-
that I'm a father as well.
I don't look at any of it the way that most people do, you know? Like, where they're just like, ew, Zelda. Like, yeah.
Right.
But, like, my heart is breaking for Zelda as well. Like, I don't know. That fucking movie fucks me up. And the child and all of it.
It's a much better movie than I used to say. But you know what? Dale Midkiff, star of Nightmare Weekend,
Yeah.
ruins it.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. Now that we've broken it down, I think the reason Pet Sematary is not great to me and is
'cause
only
of
good
that
and used to be
fucker.
shitty was because of that guy.
Fucking
Victor
Dale.
Pascow is great in it.
Yes,
Victor
he
Pascow
is.
scary.
Yes.
And Gage being the little shit he is,
Gage.
he's fucking scary.
Oh.
Church is scary. Ellie is convincing. The mom's not great. So the parents aren't great.
The parents aren't that great.
Herman Munster is great
Herman
as Judd.
Munster is fucking great in that movie. God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's
I
fantastic.
call him Herman Munster instead of Fred Gwynn.
I know.
I say Herman
He's
Munster
just-
is great
we grew
as
up
Judd.
with that. Absolutely. His growing up with that.
Well, anyway, the dad from Pet Sematary is one of the bikers. And because of the way I wrote my notes, I'm going to call him Pet Sematary. I think, as we go on. I think his name is going to be Pet Sematary, because I'm terrible with names, so I just started calling people certain things. I was like, I got to continue calling them that in my notes. So
I get
that,
you.
You know?
I'm terrible with names, too.
So we get the movie's full of scenes that don't need to be there. I took too many notes for this goddamn film. You know, the next thing we see, you know what's in my notes next? Is that it says biker from Pet Sematary has a flashback. You remember his flashback?
I think so.
You think so. You're not
But I
sure because it
don't,
wasn't terribly
because-
important.
The thing is, there's so much going on in this movie that I was like, oh, I've seen it now a few times.
Right.
I don't need to take notes this time.
He has a
there's so
flashback where
much.
the super bitch is like the flag girl. You remember?
Yeah,
And he's
for-
racing somebody.
That's right.
And then there ends up being a
Funny
wreck,
thinking.
and a truck comes down the road and
Oh yeah, and
apparently kills one of them. I guess it was his best friend
his best friend that gave him the necklace.
that gave him the necklace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden the super bitch is there and she's like, well, he's polishing his fucking motorcycle. And she's like, it was an accident.
And he's like, fuck off, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck
you. He's so just like, mm-mm. She's like, it's okay. It's just an accident. And he's like, fuck off.
Oh, man. It really does just jump around, doesn't it?
It does. There's a fucking puppet in it. And the
Right.
puppet, yes, there's a puppet.
We're not even deep into the puppet yet.
Seriously.
I mean, we're going to get into it. People are going to forget about the puppet. And then we're going to be like, oh, and then remember the puppet?
Yes. Puppet shows up. His
My
name
next
is
note
George.
says, sandwich drinking chauffeur picks up the girls. Meaning that the girls that were talking at the aerobics,
Yes.
they're getting picked up. They're going to a mansion.
They're going
They're
to
going
a
to the mansion for the weekend.
That's right.
They're going to the fucking mansion. You know, it's made kind of evident that, I mean, there's been references to guinea pigs on the way and shit at this point. Apparently.
Well, they are guinea pigs.
We're not getting into
And the thing
there are
is
things we're not
that-
getting into here.
Is that the woman that you're talking about who's got this all set up is working with this guy who's actually really, really kind and nice and,
Right.
and seems like a decent fellow who designed this whole company and whatever. And she's, you know, taking it over and selling him out
yeah.
and she seems like she's gonna use these people as some guinea pigs like that. Yeah.
We haven't even seen what she's doing yet.
No, not really. I mean, we just know that she is ordering people around and she's rude about it.
Yeah.
Calls people sluts like their mother.
Yep. So there's some mystery.
A lot. There's a lot of weird mystery, and there's a puppet.
Let's read real deep into this shit.
Let's read real deep into your
Oh
notes.
no, she's at those.
Tell us.
That chauffeur picks up those girls, and they take a ride. He picks them up in the limousine.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, dog's barking. Okay, then what we get? So now we get our maybe because maybe the three girls are our main character. Remember we
Yeah.
talked about this? Maybe they're the main character.
Maybe they are.
But then we get to Jessica, the scientist's daughter. She shows up. You remember you were talking about the kindly scientist?
That's right.
Jessica shows up, the scientist's daughter. She's like, I'm home here from somewhere for some reason. And so she's gonna hang out there, and she makes it clear that she is not a fan of fake Billy, of the
No,
tremendous,
she does
the terrible
not
bitch.
like fake Billy.
She's not a fan. But she goes upstairs and immediately starts talking with George, the puppet.
Yes. She talks to George like she's talking to some, diary, like a...
Kind of, yeah.
It's a trip. It's all, like, futuristic in its way,
Right, he's responding to her, and there's a computer
Personal
screen
computer. Yeah.
recording all of her shit.
Yeah.
It gets weirder.
It's so weird. It gets so much weirder.
She asks George. She says, "Set me up with the car game, the racing game," and he says, "Okay." And suddenly she's playing this goddamn, it's like a pole position.
Yeah.
Do you remember pole position?
I didn't play it, but
So
I do
it was a car
know
game.
what
It
you're
was
talking
an
about.
early 80s video arcade game, car game. This is even more primitive. This is a personal computer version. Everything is just like a shape. Did you ever play
Right.
Frogger?
Yes, I
Not
did.
Frogger. God, that super early video game that I played in first grade, and it would be in 1984 and on a computer, and it was just like
Like Pong?
I mean, was Frogger one of the very first
Yeah.
video games where it was just like dots
Yeah.
and shit? Yeah, it was Frogger then.
I think so. Like Pong and Frogger, I think, were early. Little blips.
Yeah, so her racing game looks like this, but here's the important thing: is she's got the steering wheel joystick. She's got the steering wheel to make the car go in the game.
Right, but the thing is set up so it's connected to the big computer thing that her dad is all running, right?
Apache.
Yeah, Apache.
George is still connected to
The
Apache.
hell is that?
Apache
the
is something. I don't know. Everything
Right?
seems to be a thing where you can control something.
Right.
Because since George is connected to Apache, the girl driving in the pole position game controls the super bitch's car, and so she starts driving around all over the place, going nuts, and the girl just thinks she's playing a game.
Yeah, she does.
This is the comic relief part of the film. Because they speed up the car.
the
Very
car.
Gods Must Be Crazy style,
It's
old
so
silent movie
awesome.
style.
I love it so much. It is so like that.
Yeah, it's
It's like a
ridiculous.
cartoon. It's great.
Yeah, and she finally gets she gets it under control after a while, I guess, because the girl loses the game. Meanwhile, the chauffeur, the sandwich drinking chauffeur, he takes the three girls, maybe our main characters, maybe not, to the bar, where all of our bar people hang out.
Well, that's where he was drinking again. Yeah, he was like, I need more of that sandwich. I needed more. The sandwich.
Oh, you remember earlier, just a little bit ago, the blonde girl, she was eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
Because one of the girls' parents had made sandwiches.
That's right, Mom.
For all of them. One of the girls' moms had made sandwiches for the girls.
That was so sweet. Mm-hmm. That was so what my yaya used to do. My yaya would be like all about feeding us. So I love that her mom, at the very last minute, handed her this bag of sandwiches. It was so cute.
Right. And then the blonde girl's eating one in the fucking limousine. She's like, this sandwich is dry as a bone.
It sucks. She threw it out the window.
You got anything to drink?
Throws
and then he pulls into the bar, and I'm like, oh, we're going back to the fucking bar.
This weird bar.
That's
special
like
sandwiches.
Yeah. With the whiskey.
Yeah, his special booze sandwich.
this is obviously this was somebody who was like, I got 3 locations, I gotta make them work.
Yeah, maximize them. That shit was all done during the day, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I think the opening scene was the only scene that was at night.
Yeah.
No, I think it might have been. Everything else happened during the middle of fucking day. They do it in dark rooms, but then they go outside. It's fucking goddamn
daylight.
3 p.m.
That was part of the funniest part to me. That when we were first watching it, you were like, "It's daylight."
It's the middle of the goddamn day.
Oh my god, so good.
These girls are. I mean, we watch a lot of horror movies. We watch a lot of weird exploitation movies. We see all levels of adolescent promiscuousness. These girls are like
Adolescent promiscuousness.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Teenage sex. That's what happens in the movies.
Okay. That's what makes you die in the movies.
Yeah, usually.
Uh-huh.
These girls are tremendously these girls are tremendously promiscuous. I'm starting to sound like Roger Ebert.
God, I know.
These girls are tremendously promiscuous.
They're like in their power and want to fuck who they want.
I know. I mean, it was like, I'm saying it was like immediate. It was like they step into the fucking bar.
I wish you could see like what I like. First of all, I wish you could see the movie, but I also wish you could see my face right now because I'm like, what? You mean like?
I mean like.
Mm-hmm.
So our mustache guy, right? You remember? We have a mustache guy that hangs out at the bar. There's like 5 people from the bar. The mustache guy is one of them.
There is a mustache guy.
A
hairy mustache guy.
He kind of puts a little bit of a hit on the red-haired girl of the 3, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
And she's like, "Oh, does that happen yet?" Yes.
I don't even know.
That does happen yet.
Around.
She's like, "Oh, yeah." And they start dancing. Yes, now I remember. They start dancing. And he's like, "Hey, Tony, come over here." While they're dancing.
Oh, yeah. And the guy
Tony comes over,
headphones.
Tony with his Walkman. You know, he comes strutting over, you know. And the guy just hands him something. Or no, he whispers something to him. And then he continues dancing with the girl. And Tony goes outside and slashes the fucking limo's tires.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, he just like told him to disable her car.
He did.
While they were dancing.
He did.
And so nasty
fucker.
Then we see one of my favorite scenes of the film. Probably my very favorite scene of the film. I don't know if you remember it.
Begging to go to the crossroads.
No, he begs to go to the crossroads.
Like,
he begs to go to the crossroads.
Just take me to the crossroads.
No, my favorite scene happens at the crossroads. At the crossroads, the limo's tire finally goes flat.
Yes, it does.
The limo driver has agreed to take the mustache man to the crossroads.
He does.
It's like, okay, fine, get in the car.
Limo man.
With the 3 girls. And so then we have... The tire has gone flat.
Finally.
The red-haired girl and the mustache man are fucking in the back seat.
Yeah.
We see a lot of it. I know it happened because we saw it a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And while the tire is being fixed, the chauffeur is fixing the tire.
There's at least some titty sucking. There is.
Yes, there's titty sucking.
Yeah, there is.
Ice cream. There's the guy's changing the tire. The 2 other girls, they're just kind of hanging out, right? They're hanging out against a tree. You know, Tony's dancing.
Shit.
You know, Tony's
being ridiculous. And
Tony's standing next to the tree, looking at the car where the 2 people are fucking, listening to his Walkman and dancing.
He's like, ha 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 ha, yeah.
Now, it's funny because the 2 girls who are ignoring him because he's lame standing next to the tree, One of them's gonna fuck him later.
I know, right? We just don't know it yet, but now we do.
And we're not spoiling it. It's not important.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not important at all.
There's so much of the the fucking around in this movie.
But anyway, they get back. They get back in the car and they go to the fucking mansion. And they arrive. Meanwhile, the super bitch's car. She stops at the fucking. Where did she go? She was at a store or something.
Yeah.
And while she's there, the car just goes and crashes into a fucking tree.
That's right.
Because I guess video game connectivity.
Video game
to it
connected again. And smashed her car.
Smashed her car into a tree. But she was able to get... She all of a sudden has a dog. You remember?
Yeah.
She has a dog. This was mentioned before.
Yeah, that's right. The
One biker
Doberman?
had mentioned the monster dog.
Yeah, the Doberman.
She brings...
Where all of a sudden she has a brown Doberman.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember so she brings the dog to the scientist, the kindly scientist. She has it in a cage, and it's barking. It doesn't seem like a terribly mean dog. Okay, so at this point, basically that mean lady, that fake Billy, that terrible bitch.
Terrible bitch.
Has brought that dog to the scientist's house, and they're like experimenting on it.
Yeah, which is
Right.
so fucked up.
And they have it in this cage, and it's like angry.
And scared.
It's
and
a scared,
freaked
angry
out.
dog. Right. And they do their whole, we're still at the point in the film where, like, we're watching how this happens, and they turn the dog's dish, because their machine, if you remember, it turns the belongings of someone into this, like, metallic sphere, like a bite-sized phantasm ball.
Yeah.
And so they take this dog's dish, and the sphere will penetrate you in some way. It usually goes in through the mouth. That's the way the ball goes into the dog's cage, and the dog eats it. Right? I mean, we'll see more violent versions of the bite-sized phantasm ball later in the film.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't always
they usually
go
go
in their
through
mouth.
the mouth.
Usually it does, but not always.
And the dog calms right down. The dog becomes friendly.
Docile, totally sweet.
Somehow,
dog.
when you eat the ball, there's something that can be done with this computer system that somehow has something to do with that Apache thing that is like this. I guess it's like the wireless control, like an AI kind of a thing, right? I mean, we haven't really.
Yeah.
It's connected to that puppet, George.
But George can also turn the program of Apache off.
Right. Oh, he operates independent of Apache.
Yes, he does.
At least I believe he does. I believe he must be controlled by the computer. That puppet is not supposed to be alive.
Nobody
There's no way that
is.
fucking puppet's supposed to be alive.
But he totally,
But he totally has a
seems
personality.
Like he is, yeah.
And we'll see some more of that later, too.
It's the weirdest thing.
We will. But anyway, I don't know about these balls, because back to the balls being controlled by the thing, we saw in the beginning of the film, the computer system was controlling the balls, and they destroyed some people in the beginning. You remember
Absolutely.
in that prologue?
Yep.
When those people were breaking into that place. But the dog, it just makes calm down. So I don't know. I guess it's the computer controls it, or whoever's controlling the computer controls whether you are a docile dog or a mindless killing machine.
Or a feral bitey girl.
Feral
Anything
bitey girl.
Right? Yeah.
Which, again, we'll talk more about feral bitey girls.
We will, I'm sorry.
In a little bit. Oh, no. It's an exciting part of the film. I don't blame you for wanting to
Feral
jump ahead.
bitey girl is pretty exciting.
I don't blame you for wanting to jump ahead. Now, as we talked about earlier, there are basically 3 set pieces in the film. So now it's time to go back to the bar.
Okay, that bar is pretty fun.
Our fancy scientist daughter, she mocks that old bitch, that mean bitch. You remember on her way out, she comes roller skating out.
Oh yeah.
And she's dancing on her roller skates while that chick is chewing her
favorite.
out.
I don't know if
And she's like, I can't hear you.
Oh my gosh, she's like grooving out to
People
no music.
love dancing in this. It's not as much as in trauma stuff. People love dancing in trauma stuff.
They do.
Oh my god, Traumavillians love dancing.
They're always celebratory.
Celebratroming.
Troming, yes. Celebrating.
I'm wearing a
Trauma.
trauma shirt right now.
You are. It's perfect. Almost 40 years.
That's what this says. Now it's almost 50 years.
I know. Wow.
I don't wear new clothes.
Time damn
I don't
flies.
own them.
Holy moly.
Anyway, what I was saying was familiar set pieces. They go to this bar. They go back to this bar because this bar is in this movie a lot.
Yes.
This bar and
The daytime mall bar.
our daytime mall bar.
Yeah.
Of course, Tony's there. Everybody's fucking playing pinball.
Yes.
And this girl goes to meet up with the Pet Cemetery guy. You know, she doesn't go there to do it. That's where she meets him. She meets the Pet Cemetery guy at this bar. You know, doesn't she fall off a stool and he helps her up or something like that?
Something like that, like damsel in distress or
something.
You know.
But he doesn't treat her too much like she's in distress because the next thing we know, there's this other couple just fucking on this pinball machine.
On the pinball machine.
And she's sitting there watching them, and it's like, and the Pet Cemetery guy is sitting there watching them, and it's like, is this something that happens a lot, or is this an art performance?
It seemed
no.
like
I feel like it was
happens a
supposed to just be a
lot.
couple of people fucking on a machine, but
Yeah.
nobody was reacting in the way you would react to two people fucking on a pinball machine,
Right.
in the bar.
I agree. It seemed like the reaction of everyone was like, oh, wow. Instead of it being something that happens all the time, which, I don't know. I think the director was trying to let us believe that that's what happened all the time with these people. They just, you know, every once in a while, spontaneously fucked over a pinball machine.
Right.
You know.
Like it's France or something.
Yeah, it's like wild.
I'd be into checking out if the director of this was French, because that's the way they do it in France.
Oh God,
That's what I understand
my goodness.
from my extensive knowledge of Gérard Depardieu films and French poetry of the 14th century.
Oh, I love French poetry.
My favorite French poet, Gérard Depardieu, once said, Roxanne, you don't have to turn out the red light.
No, he didn't.
No,
No.
that was Sting,
Yeah, you hate Sting.
who I hate.
He does.
From a previous podcast,
Y'all,
Dune.
he really does
Listen
not
to that
like
on
Sting.
your listen to our Dune podcast on
Yeah.
your favorite local on your favorite podcast.
And if you
provider.
don't want to, that's okay too. I mean, like, people
we get
hate
really
Sting.
into how much I hate Sting.
Yeah.
I
He does.
I don't like him.
He is not into
I don't like
Sting.
him. But he sang Roxanne, which was also the title of a Steve Martin movie.
That I actually
Called
quite
Roxanne.
liked. That was a
That was a
modern day
remake.
version. Yeah, of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Starring Gérard Depardieu.
Yes, exactly.
You see? My
Yes,
joke
I
was
love,
long.
I love that he wound
My
up
joke,
around.
it was an art joke. It was
Quite
long
good.
and not funny.
I still like you a whole bunch. I love that you wound back around.
The punchline is the explanation. What a bad joke.
Oh, honey.
And yet it works. So, yeah, that couple fucks on that pinball machine.
They do. And it's kind of like really ridiculous and
Everybody
fun.
looks, and the girl
She's like watching and it's like...
Well, and the
whoa,
dude is looking
this
her
weird.
straight in the eye
Oh,
while
yeah.
he's fucking that
like,
girl.
He's like, I want you instead of her. And you know, like...
Yeah.
She's like, ooh, this is weird, but like, oh, okay.
Do you remember? Then she goes outside and ties a ribbon. Not her ribbon. Her bandana? What did she tie? She tied something around his handlebar.
Bandana,
Not
I believe.
around the Pet Cemetery man's handlebar.
I thought it was a bandana or scarf.
Something that she pulled out of her goddamn sweaty knee pad. She's been skating around all day, in and out of the mall
Bebopping around
bar.
with her
Bebopping
fucking
around.
headphones and her super
Knee
awesome
sweat,
Walkman.
knees sweating like hell because she's got those big fat early 80s knee pads on.
I know,
They don't have the hard shell. They're just like a cushion.
Exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're more like pillows. They're more like knee pillows. You know, like if your knees are sore at the end of the day, put those on. If you when you go to sleep,
a knee sponge.
Right. Strap a sponge on your knee. It's kind of the same
strap
thing.
that on there.
I don't know. I think she's wearing them for like a knee pad fetishist.
I loved her red and white outfit. Super 80s, super silly.
Yeah, well, it was really red.
Yes.
Red glasses, even.
Indeed.
But she gets, I guess, we'll agree it's a bandana out of her sweaty, nasty knee thing, and she ties it around his goddamn handlebars. I guess. Oh my God, this is
like a
weird fucking film.
It's like a medieval favor.
Yeah, it's like a medieval favor. I don't want a medieval favor in Nightmare Weekend.
Right, but that's totally what it was. It was like, let me give you my scarf.
I do want a medieval thing in Nightmare Weekend.
Yeah, while you do your thing, I shall tie my favor onto your horse. You know? Right.
Okay. Yeah.
His steed.
Yeah. One of those things.
Yeah. That was his steed.
All right. I'll meet you on that. And then she decides to skate away. And the pinball fuckers, they stop her. And it's the weirdest thing. You know? I mean, because the girl looks... The pinball fucky... The pinball fucky. There's the pinball fucker girl. And the pinball fucky.
Super awesome rocker girl.
Is she awesome?
I mean...
We didn't really get to know her too well in the
this
film.
movie.
Is she?
I guess.
Because she fucks on the pinball machine?
I don't know.
I could do that. People wouldn't think I was awesome at all. I'd get kicked out the goddamn place. Maybe that's why she's awesome and I'm not. She doesn't get kicked out of the place.
Awesome.
Well, I know the pinball fucker is not awesome.
No,
that guy's a dick.
Stupid dick.
But they seem like they're in on this together for like a second, where he stops the scientist daughter on roller skates. You know, Jessica or Jennifer or whatever. Of course, her name is one of those things. He stops her, and he's like, "How'd you like to make it with a pinball wizard?" Or something like that,
right?
And immediately, his leather-clad rockin' girlfriend slaps him on the shoulder. And says, she doesn't know anything about it.
I love that
because people get really mad about sex issues in this film. Girls especially get really mad about sexual issues in this film. They get really mad when they're not getting fucked by the person they want to fuck them. Like, that guy wants to fuck the other girl and she's immediately pissed off. Which is fine. Well, but then there's later in the film, we'll get...
But that's understandable.
Well, that's actually totally understandable.
It's understandable. Like, as soon as we see these two, they're like a couple, and they're fucking, and he's looking at somebody else like... Yeah, I'm fucking her, but I wish I was fucking you. And that ain't cool.
You know,
I mean, like, she looks over like... Yeah, I know he's looking at you, and we could probably, like, all get together. But ultimately, he gets kind of obsessed with her, and she feels that, so she's like, whatever. Fuck you, you know? I mean...
When you put it that way...
Yeah.
I guess he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
I guess I don't identify.
She was totally just trying to please him in a lot of ways.
I really kind of thought he was the hero of the film, and it was a shame that he bit it so early. But we haven't got to that yet.
No, we haven't.
Oh no! Spoilers.
Oh no!
Spoilers. Suddenly. So the next thing I guess that should be of importance, but I don't know so much that it really is that this is the first glimpse we see of the bitch lady on the phone with the mysterious boss.
Oh, fake Billy with the mysterious boss.
He's shrouded in shadow. All we can tell is that he's got a rich man's haircut.
I guess.
Probably a rich man's hotel room.
I don't even remember that.
That's all you can see of him, though. Remember, his face is shrouded in darkness.
Nose. Yeah.
He's all shrouded in darkness, and
His cheeks.
there's some plan of crime happening.
Probably.
A plan of crime. That's going to be the name of my
Nefarious
next book.
crime.
A plan of crime. That's my next book. I can see the reviews now. You'll never believe how this crime was planned. Read The Plan of Crime. Now on audiobook.
I don't know, that sounds like
On
garbage.
Espanol.
And you're better than that.
What's that?
That's pretty garbagey.
No,
You're
I would have
better
just
than
called him
that.
Mysterious Boss.
Okay, Mysterious Boss.
So anyway, you may have forgotten that that our possibly main characters are these three girls
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
that were.
There's
We
so
never
much going
really
on.
figured out why they were picked up and taken to this mansion. I mean, is one of them met the rich man somehow who owns the mansion? I don't remember what it was, but it was the flimsiest of excuses to get these girls at this mansion. But the girls got picked up in a limousine and taken to the mansion.
True. There were,
First the bar, then the mansion.
yeah, there were sandwiches, and they were thrown out the window.
Yeah, there was another sandwich full of liquor.
And I feel like they were just like test subjects.
Oh, I think you're right. I think they are test subjects.
Mm.
That's right. That's right. You're right. You're totally right. Anyway, these girls are relaxing at the pool. They're like, oh, it's great here.
Oh my god, it's so good. And it's so 80s.
They're trying to sound sarcastic with things like, this is tough. Eating and drinking and swimming. And it's fucking... It's painful a little bit. It's a little bit painful.
I know, it's very
It's
pedantic.
a little bit painful to listen to. But it's kind of you're kind of numb by this point even in the film. I mean, after all the puppets and the pinball fucking and the Tony dancing, not Tony dancing,
Not,
but
yeah,
dancing Tony.
Dancing Tony.
Not like it says on Tony Danson's driving license.
Well-
but the Tony who dances with his Walkman.
Yes, and I think by that time though, like wet T-shirt was like, oh, that's expected, you know?
Oh yeah.
Right?
They do the wet T-shirt.
Oh
thing for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
This scene actually also has one of my favorite pieces of dialogue in the film, where it's like, whoever wrote it had very little experience in like the way the music business works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because one of the girls expresses to another one, "I work in a CD store." And then this one in pink comes walking up and overhears and says, "Oh, you work in a CD store? I am a singer." And I'm like, these things aren't actually connected.
Yeah, what is that?
But they're talking about how they can like, oh yeah, they'll make a team. And the other one comes swimming up to the side and she's like, I can see the headlines now. I love it. And all this is leading to solid gold. Poolside meeting leads to solid gold. Something along those lines. Like, this is... Is it written?
Disjointed and ridiculous.
Is it written? I mean, they deliver the lines so badly that I think it has to be written. But I can't imagine someone writing it.
I know, it's bad.
There's got to be a story behind this. There's got to
There
be a
must
story
be.
behind it.
Right?
You know what? I should have looked into it. But then I would have had too much more to talk about. And this podcast is already going to be a fucking long one.
Oh my gosh, but this movie has so
The movie
much.
is worth talking about.
It
This
honestly,
is an under-discussed movie.
It is. It's under discussed. And there's so much going on in this movie.
Nobody ever talks about this movie. A couple people say it's like the worst movie ever made. And I guess, like, from certain technical levels, you could say this. From certain levels, you could say that.
I love this movie.
But I love this movie.
It's so fun.
It's one of a kind. And that's something I will always appreciate. There's nothing quite like this.
No,
Not that I've seen.
Not at all. I love that where we're at, like, wet T-shirt girl, like, totally, like, throws them all in. And then it just cuts
Yeah.
to the puppet.
Yeah. Well, now, so our roller skating scientist daughter
Yes.
She's decided her daytime time at the bar is done.
Yes. Daytime time.
It's
at the bar.
now 3:45 in the afternoon, and she's gonna go home and talk to this puppet.
That's right.
About falling in love. She's just fallen in love with a man at the not the guy, not the pinball fucker.
No.
No, this this guy from Pet Sematary.
Dancing. Oh yeah, the guy from
Pet Sematary, Louis
right.
Creed.
Yes.
Louis Creed from Pet Sematary. Gage's dad.
That's right. That's right.
Dr. Creed.
Oh.
Dr. Louis Creed.
Indeed.
Dr. Louis MD.
MD.
Not Indy. MD.
I like you.
Holy shit.
Okay. We're ridiculous. Here you are. Listening to our silliness.
But yeah, so so this scene is another great scene. Where she goes, God, is her name Jessica or Jennifer? It's got to be one of those, doesn't it?
Don't you have notes? I think
it says daughter.
Jessica.
My notes say daughter. Louis Creed from Pet Sematary. Every time his name shows up, I just wrote P.S. for
God.
Pet Sematary.
Oh no!
Spelled like the book.
You know, it's funny because I just write dad and daughter scenes. Dad, daughter, weird.
But Pet Sematary guy is not dad.
No. She does have some scenes with
You
her
took
dad.
notes on a whole bunch of shit that I didn't take notes on.
I know. We took...
That scientist is almost nowhere in my notes.
I just
You have paragraphs written about him.
It was strange.
What an interesting...
I don't know. We're in the whole, like, I'm in love. What's wrong with me? Oh, yeah. My.
Cannot compute.
What's wrong with me? I don't
More
know.
data, please.
I'm dizzy. I can't think right. Like, right? She's
I'm
just
hot
like,
and I'm cold.
Oh my God. I don't know. You know. And he literally is like, stop, Apache. Which is the terrible...
Right.
He tells the computer to stop. This is personal. And she's like, I've never felt this way. Yeah. I don't know. And she's laying all over the bed. She's like, oh my God, I don't even know. And he's like, paradox. Mm-hmm. Paradox.
He finally figures it out, though.
Yes, he does.
Because he's a computer puppet genius.
That's right, computer puppet genius.
He figures out that it's love. She's in love. And she
love.
says, yes, I'm in love. And I'd be like, you sound like you knew that the whole fucking time. Why did you waste all of our time? But she didn't waste our time because it was a great scene.
Oh my God. There was a ridiculous puppet that she was like telling all of her, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Oh my God. Like, that is hilarious.
Now that I think about it, this is
hilarious.
This is a little bit of a testament to just how calloused I've become to some of these strange situations like this in movies. Because I'm thinking about this scene, and I think, God, if I'd seen this scene fucking 25 years ago, the whole time I would be like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? and now, in where I am now, I'm thinking, why is this happening? This is great.
It's so great.
This is what I watch movies for.
Yes!
I want to see things I haven't seen before. I've never once seen a girl. People will say this is the worst movie they've ever seen. I've never seen a girl. I've never seen a girl, let alone see a girl speak to a puppet computer in artificial intelligence to force it to describe love to her based on her prompts.
Yes, yes.
However, if you have a Siri, or is it an Alexis? I don't know.
Well, we have a Ziggy.
Yeah, but see now
I know
you
she's
just turned it
on.
But if you have one of those, you can ask it, read my mind.
That's right.
And it'll take you on a whole rabbit hole through clues and all this shit.
True.
Which it maybe isn't that much different.
I know this is really early stuff like
from
that.
George the puppet robot.
The
puppet
green-haired puppet.
figuring out that she's in love. But if it can do that, if your robot puppet can do that,
yes.
then I'll tell you what, it probably can also turn inanimate objects into bite-sized phantasm balls and murder your enemies.
That's right. Or make them do the most bizarre things that they've ever done. Ever.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Oh, I know.
Foreshadowing.
I know, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, since we have 18 plots, when that daughter girl is done talking to George the puppet about falling in love,
right? And he's like, paradox.
Now that
paradox.
she's got somebody. Well, no, he eventually figures it out. He doesn't think it's a paradox no more. What are those animals doing?
I have no idea.
Those animals are making a goddamn ruckus in there.
We literally have a kitten in heat, and honestly, folks, it's quite a thing. We have no idea what's going on. What is she doing?
I don't know where she is. She's just running about.
That wild baby.
She's rubbing her body all over my backpack.
She's what?
She's rubbing her body all over my backpack. I hope it smells okay tomorrow.
Of course she is.
Okay. But oh shit, where were we?
We were all about the puppet being like, paradox, you're in love. You're in love.
Oh yeah, but he's eventually happy with her. He claps and he's happy with her and all that.
Right.
They're happy.
Yeah. And then she's hanging out with her dad. Right?
Yeah, just doing the whole.
It's weird.
It's
dad
a useless
and
scene.
Stuff. It's strange though. I mean, as a girl, it's weird. Dad and daughter stuff.
Yeah.
I know it's not super creepy, but
I didn't. Yeah.
It's still a little weird. It does feel strange. Yeah.
I guess I don't think I paid very close attention to those.
No,
scenes.
but I did because I'm totally a girl with daddy issues. So, it's true. So, yeah, those moments were very odd to me. I was like, oh, okay, weird. And I wrote them in my notes. I was like, ooh, dad and daughter weirdness. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Oh, it says dad and daughter weirdness at least a few times in my notes.
Like I told you,
during that time,
the dad is like virtually non-existent.
Her like walking with her dad and like that whole, all of it is a little off.
I figured that she doesn't go there very often, so they were spending a little bit of quality time because he doesn't have much because he's too busy shoving balls down dogs' throats.
I don't know.
Not like metal phantasm bite-sized balls.
Yeah.
Not sexual.
It's still kind of a little off. And then all of a sudden, in my notes, it's like hanging sex bed, which is like all of them hanging out on this bed that's hanging from the ceiling.
Well, I think, but before that isn't before that when we find out that Louis Creed from Pet Sematary works for
the bitch,
the evil bitch,
evil super bitch,
right? Evil bitch Billy, fake Billy,
right?
Don't call her Billy. Nobody does.
That was good.
I wonder if anybody will get that.
I don't know, but I loved it.
He needs to steal an object from each one of these girls.
It's true. It's true.
Each one of the girls that is staying there are maybe main characters.
Yeah.
You can see where we're going with it. There is no fucking main character in this, is there?
No, there's a lot of insanity all over the place. And it's just like bite-sized pieces of one thing after another, after another. It just goes and goes and goes.
It's ridiculous.
There's like...
And I love it.
There's like these wild balls that show up, and then people are totally opposite of how they are, and there's special sandwich booze, and I don't know.
Now,
It's a lot.
Speaking of randomness,
Yeah.
another great scene pops up right here.
Yeah.
While this, well, you know as Louis Creed from Pet Sematary.
Oh, yes, we've talked about him with that name.
Right.
A lot.
He while he's supposed to steal something from all these girls, and while he's in the room of one of them, she comes in, and she's in a towel. You remember?
Oh, that's right. It's not even a towel. It's like this really bitchin' tapestry thing.
Right.
I love it.
Now, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about aggressive promiscuity.
Hey, I love
Is that she comes in with nothing wrong with aggressive promiscuity.
No, there is not.
I guess this wouldn't be promiscuity. This would just be...
Just some, like, serious, like, super flirting where she's like,
She wasn't super flirting.
Body.
She was...
Look at my naked
She was
body.
basically presenting.
Yeah.
She was... I mean, now that we have this cat in heat...
Oh, my
I'm
God.
hearing this and I'm like, she kind of was doing that. Was she not? Is this something I'm not supposed to say? Is this one of those things?
So.
Is this one of those things?
My God.
Does this one walk the line?
That does.
The line
walk
jumps
the
around
line.
all the
It
time
does.
over time.
I think you.
Does this one walk the line?
Yeah, I think you kind of crossed it.
I wrote a song once back in my rockabilly days called
Oh
My
my
Baby's
God.
in Heat.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Back in the early rockabilly days. Not in 1955.
But your
in my
your
early rockabilly days, which were like
days.
that would have been like 1995.
No, that does cross it a little bit.
It did then.
I'd say, well, you are good at crossing that line. I mean, you have had songs about all kinds of naughtiness.
Well, yeah.
Like true naughtiness.
Well, I've
You're really good at that.
I once was lost, but now I'm found.
No. God,
And
no.
now I don't say things like, I'll cut your head off and make you blow me.
Hey, you should, though. That's one of my favorite songs. I love that shit.
Oh, God. There were some other sick ones, too.
Oh,
I never
so
wrote
sick.
I didn't write the sickest song that band ever did, though. Jared did when he wrote My Cousin.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Remember My Cousin?
Yes. My cousin.
Yeah. No.
I'm sorry.
I knew it was wrong, but I was wrong all along. I tried to be strong, but she played with my dong. She's my cousin.
No. No.
I didn't write that, though.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you could just...
I didn't write that one. I didn't.
I know. Your brother did.
This part I might need to cut out because I start thinking Jared doesn't want to be remembered
He
for
does
that.
not want to be remembered just for that. No. He's literally, like, written movies, like, screenplays for movies. He did it. He doesn't want to be remembered for that.
I don't think he wants to be remembered at all.
I agree with that.
He would much rather just live.
Let us not bring him up.
So we just took a break, right?
Yeah, we did for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming back. Special sandwich.
So we have this mustache guy
Yes.
from the... Wait, did we get there?
Wait. Hanging sex bed. There's a bunch of, like, them on this bed. And they're hanging out. And then they're all of a sudden, at the arcade again? The bar?
Right. The one of the girls
Yes.
Okay, so wait, let's backtrack.
Yeah,
let's back to before the break.
Backtrack before the break.
When Lewis Creed from Pet Sematary was stealing things from each of the girls, the one girl, she came in with the towel. We just cut off there before the break.
That's right. And she was wearing this really awesome, like, tapestry, not a towel.
I don't care about that.
It was cool. I do. Okay, go ahead.
No, what's important is she took it off.
Okay,
no,
yeah.
she takes it off in front of him. She's trying to seduce him. Mm-hmm. You know, he doesn't want any part of it. You know, you can't corrupt a guy like Lewis Creed from Pet Sematary.
I guess.
You know, he's got either his eye on his job or he's really in love with this girl that he doesn't really know. Mm-hmm. She tied a bandana around his thing.
That's right.
His handlebar.
The Favor. Mm-hmm.
Read The Favor from medieval times.
Mm-hmm. True.
And so he turns her down, and she, like I said, girls get angry about sex things. She yells, "You can never get what you want!"
She does. Right.
So she's all like the female version of Blue Balls, right? She's like Lewis Creed from Pet Sematary wouldn't fuck her, so she goes to the chauffeur, and is like, "Will you take me back to the goddamn bar?" He takes her to the bar.
Yeah.
He gets a liquor sandwich.
Yes, special booze sandwich.
She picks up the mustached man that she had fucked earlier in the park.
That's right.
And brings him back to the mansion.
That's right. She does.
And then does the worst strip I've ever seen. For one thing, the music was far too fast for a striptease.
It was really bad. It was bad.
And it was fast.
As a burlesque performer and teacher, I'm usually really like, good job. But it was pretty atrocious.
Yeah. And me, as someone who despises most dancing, that was real bad.
It was really bad.
He took it with stride, though. She danced about for a bit, and he decided, well, enough of this. I'm gonna get to some fucking. And he goes to grab her up, and she's like, "Oh, no," and she hides in the bathroom.
Yep,
we don't know what she's doing in there. He decides, well, I'm gonna look at this pornographic magazine and go to sleep. So
Does he have like a memory, right?
Yes, and once he goes to sleep, he starts dreaming about their park fuck session.
That's right, where he's like kissing her back a lot.
Oh God, there's so much back kissing.
There's a lot of back
so
kissing.
much back kissing in that car fuck scene.
Yeah.
You know, the first time we saw them do it, it was much shorter, and it was much... The more exciting part of the scene was Tony dancing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Tony dancing.
Dancing Tony.
Yeah, but not like Tony Danson's driver's license says. Not Dancing Tony. Tony with the Walkman who dances.
Yes. Indeed, him.
Right. No, this scene they cut out Tony dance. You know.
Yeah.
Tony.
I do.
And replaced it with more back licking fucking.
Yes, back licking fucking and pharaoh bitings. Well, not yet.
Well, no.
He's just thinking.
Close. He's just
like
thinking.
Kind of. He's not even jerking off. He's
just
asleep.
Dreaming. He's gone to sleep, but he's dreaming.
And she gets a ball in the mouth, right? Isn't it in the mouth?
Yes, she gets a ball in her mouth. No,
ball.
So like he doesn't put a ball in her mouth.
No. It gets.
She's taking a shower.
Program.
She's taking a shower,
right?
Because she hasn't since she fucked him in the park,
right? And fake Billy's in charge.
So, fake Billy's watching all this,
right? She's
because these girls are her guinea pigs. They're testing they're testing. This is the test market for the new bite-sized Phantasm bars.
Right.
You see?
Exactly.
Like Snickers will sometimes they'll put like they'll pick one part of the country where they'll put out bite-sized razor apples.
Right.
You know, these are bite-sized Phantasm balls, and
they're working great.
These girls that they invited to the mansion are the test subjects.
Yeah.
And this girl is the first test subject, and she gets one, and so she goes out and starts like dancing naked really well for this man, and then she well, did better than before because it's very she's like a rabid tigress.
She's more wild. She definitely is more feral.
Right, she feels a little bit more like, you remember Island of Lost Souls, right?
Yes.
The old
like the
Charles
cat.
Lawton 30s
Right,
movie?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that cat lady in it.
Yes.
Yeah, this girl doesn't match up to that. That cat lady is amazing.
Well, no.
But
that's true.
But in fact, she's not even terribly good. But she does a good job. She does fine. She does all right. And she pounces upon this man.
Yes.
This mustachioed man.
Yes. Feral bitings.
And it looks like maybe it could be really hot, but really dangerous. But then she just starts biting the shit out of his neck.
Yeah.
Just biting the shit out of it.
Lots of biting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Her eyes are quite wild.
Remember this.
I will.
Remember that this man got a bunch of his neck bit.
Yeah, I will. Isn't there, like... See, in my notes, it says something about, like, that bitch was watching them, and then all of a sudden she, like brought a spider. Spider.
Well, the spider is for the maid.
Yes. The maid who is terrified.
The maid who is terrified of
spiders. And then the other guy who...
The butler?
Yeah, the butler.
Because is this where the maid... I didn't write anything about the maid
so.
scene. Is
He,
this
like,
where
totally,
the maid scene
like,
happens?
Yeah, he totally gets all creepy with her.
Well, there's a great line there.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, so yeah, I guess this is where there's a fucking tarantula in the kitchen, and the maid... Now, again, folks, the film's filled with, like, nothing scenes.
But everything is, like, back to back.
Everything's
all
good.
The stuff.
But the film's filled with nothing scenes. So apparently this maid is terrified of tarantulas. Terrified of spiders.
Yes, she is.
And we only... Of course, like... I mean, the best and the worst horror movies know this. Sometimes you'll just put something in a movie so that somebody can be frightened by it later. So that it can become a thing later. And that's obviously what this is.
Right.
Where we see this maid. Because we don't know this maid.
No.
This maid has showed up once before.
We don't care about her.
We don't care about the maid.
We know that her mother's a slut.
Right.
That's it. And slut
we did
isn't
touch on that
bad.
earlier, didn't
yeah.
we? that line.
Yeah, I don't think slut is bad. Yeah.
But yeah, she's scared of spiders. She's hanging out with the butler, right?
Well, yeah, and then suddenly
And I didn't write any notes about this, so I'm not like...
Dude, he just suddenly creeps out.
Yeah. She's like, I hate spiders.
And he's like,
He
oh,
says,
I'll
you
be
hate
helpful.
Spiders? What about butlers?
Yeah.
Grabs her up. And she's like, not right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We didn't need this except to have more people in the film to really just be grossed out by.
I know.
You know, it wasn't...
was
that butler is
pointless.
never important in this film.
No, he's not. No.
I can't remember if he shows up again.
I don't know either. All I know is that there's more puppet action and more like, oh, like these are these pieces. Because she's in love with this dude from Pet Sematary, right?
Well, let's not forget real quick that we do have a scene with the girl that just bit the shit out of Mario.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mario is much easier to say than Mustached Man. I don't know if his name is Mario.
I don't either.
There's probably like a 1 in 80 chance that it's Mario.
Probably not.
But
he has a good mustache.
he looks like a Mario.
Oh, sad.
Does he not?
I don't know. He has a mustache. He's like got a bad mustache.
You ever met a Mario without a bad mustache?
All I know is that...
Have you?
For me, no matter what, any dude that has a mustache and only a mustache is kind of odd. That's
It's
just-
kind of hot?
No.
Oh.
Odd. And it's just how I take it personally. Like
That's a generational
I don't
thing,
know.
you know? I mean,
like
there's
a lot
young
of
kids
pederasts
like to wear
just have,
mustaches
like-
now, and I
Yeah,
always thought of
no.
mustaches as like
It's
a kitty
weird. It's
diddler
like
thing.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's weird. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is good to be on a podcast.
Of course, everything's good to be on a podcast.
I
I'm not
know.
editing shit out of this.
Are
But
we at the
no.
puppet yet?
Remember the girl after she bites the shit out of Mario?
Yeah.
We do see her the next day with her friends, and she's just like fucking catatonic. And she's just kind of fucking stroking the drapes and shit, you know.
Isn't she combing her
she's-
hair?
she's
Is that
not-
the girl that combs her hair?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Is she like combing her hair until her
She doesn't have the
scalp
gross
is
combing
fucked up?
her scene until later.
Right, but she's just kind of out of it.
Yeah, she's out of it. She's totally out of it. She's a more extreme version of some of the shit that happened in the all-time classic Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
I love that movie.
It's so good.
Another one-of-a-kind movie. Another
is.
one-of-a-kind. Nothing like it.
Absolutely
Nothing
one of
like
a
it.
kind.
But we're not talking about that. We'll do that
Nope.
another day.
Another day.
We'll do that another day. Where are we?
There's a puppet literally
Oh, right.
giving
The
advice.
yeah, oh, God. This is yet another one of my favorite scenes of the film.
Yes.
When she's like, I need to meet the guy.
Oh my god, I need to meet him.
What am I going to do?
What do I do?
What should I wear, George?
Oh my god. And George is like, 88% of men like women in dresses.
Yep.
What kind of bullshit is that anyway?
Science.
It's... And then, what color
Yeah.
dress?
Yeah. 74% say white.
Yeah.
She says, really? He says, brunettes.
For brunettes. Yeah.
All of those
Also-
things, you know what? All of those things, I'm like, maybe they're true, maybe they're not.
It's
I don't know.
ridiculous.
I don't know. But the next part,
That's the craziest
the next part,
part.
is my very favorite.
How
and I'm like, what
she
is
going
this?
to
This
meet
is
him?
Yeah, she's like, how am I going to meet him?
How?
Good God, this fucking film.
My goodness. She's like, oh my god, puppet. How am I going to meet him? What should I do? And he gives her all
Yeah,
of these...
where should I go? Well, yeah.
Yeah, statistics.
Well, your number one choice is bars.
Right.
That's like 80%. You have an 80% chance of meeting this guy if you go to a bar. You have like a 73% chance at a disco.
A disco, which is not a bar.
Now, I'll tell you what. I've seen the bar in this town. If that's the bar in this town does not have a proper disco.
No, it does not.
It's not it's not a place you want to go.
Nope, that bar...
No, that is not a disco. That is a roller rink that has disco night on Saturday. The third 66%, hitchhiking.
Yes.
You could meet this guy hitchhiking.
Hitchhiking.
And so what does our scientist's daughter decide to do?
She's like, oh my god,
That's the
the
perfect
way.
answer, hitchhiking.
I'm totally gonna hitchhike.
First off, it's third. Why is that the
oh
first
my
one?
god, I
You
need to
already
do that.
met the guy at the bar.
Right, but like, hitchhiking is
No.
the way to go.
I'll just hitchhike. I'm sure I'll run across him.
I'm sure. Even though, like, that's, like, one particular guy that I want to meet, I'm certain that I'll meet him because it's 66%.
Who else could I possibly run across?
Oh my gosh, I mean, really. The, like, green-haired puppet said, George said that 66% can't lose hitchhiking.
Well,
Hey, baby.
unfortunately, she loses.
She does.
She hitchhikes, and here comes
a motorcycle.
a biker. Here
Yeah.
comes that motorcycle. She hitches it, but
She's
you know
like,
what?
oh my god.
This was that time of life where everybody wore helmets that had a visor.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't see their face until they pulled up beside you to commit sexual assault. Because this is not...
No idea.
This is not
Her.
Louis Creed from Pet
No,
Sematary,
it's not her lover.
who she saw in a movie book.
Her
But
paramour.
it is actually the pinball fucker.
Pinball fucker.
The pinball fucker.
Yes.
He's like, you look like a good girl. All these stupid lines, you know. And he basically starts like, I mean, he's sexually harassing her, but this is you could be arrested for this. I mean, he's chasing her through the park on
this
his
is
motorcycle.
Full on rape.
Oh yeah, it gets to full on rape.
No, really.
When he's chasing
like,
her in the on the
fucking-
motorcycle, there's a
Yes.
different word for that. That's like vehicular stalking or something. But
Yeah.
no, don't get me wrong. He does rape her. I'm just saying this part isn't rape.
Yeah.
But he catches her and he rapes her, and somehow she is connected to Apache because we see footage of George the puppet. He's
Yeah.
in panic mode.
He's freaking out.
He's like danger, danger, panic,
danger,
panic, panic,
danger,
danger, danger, panic,
danger,
panic.
danger.
And so he's got a fucking, he's fucking freaking out.
He is.
You know.
Yes.
Meanwhile, who interrupts this rape? But of all, who would you expect?
Well,
Not Louis Creed from Pet Sematary.
No.
But it was Louis Creed from Pet Sematary, the dad, who stopped this. He came and he stopped this and started beating the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
You know? And he knocks him into the goddamn water finally. They have a pretty... I've seen worse fight scenes, but it's not a good one.
No.
I've seen worse.
I've seen
But
worse.
it's not a good one. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. But while he's in the water, George the puppet finds a way to change. Well, he uses the changing machine to change this scientist's daughter's watch into a bite-sized phantasm ball.
That's
and
right.
It goes straight into fucking the pinball fucker's face.
Yeah.
You know, he starts jerking about and everything. You know, that's right. Louis Creed from Pet Sematary. He doesn't even push him into the water. He knocks him down, and then the thing goes into his face. He starts jerking around, gets himself into the water, dies in there until his fucking face explodes.
I love that.
You ever
part.
heard that sentence?
No.
Dies
but,
until his face explodes.
but I love that part so much.
It's a great part.
And he really explodes because, you know.
When I watched the trailer for this and decided I need to watch this movie, I think it was that part. I think it was his face exploding in the water. Now, if that was all it was, that wouldn't be it. But that face exploding was the pinnacle for me of everything that was in the trailer.
Which is perfect because you watched it and then you woke me up in the middle of the night when you came to bed and you were like, oh my God, watch this movie. And we watched it and it was so great. So good. Love it.
I could watch it anytime.
I agree. There's so much. There's
It's
so
never
much
going to
going
be boring.
on.
It's a party movie.
It is a party
absolutely
movie.
a party movie.
Not
Everybody can have
boring.
fun.
Super fun.
But you can also sit and watch it by yourself and reflect on its commentary about gender relations, but also our relationships with technology and our ever growing interwovenness with the wonders of science.
Oh. Yes, that's good too.
Anyway.
Also, at that time, like, you know, $2.69 for a 12-pack of Coors.
Yes.
That's pretty
There is that.
amazing. God.
Okay, we gotta take a quick break. We'll be back with you in a minute.
We'll be back.
Okay, we're back. I think at this point, but right, the dog has gotten sick.
Yes, sick dog.
So of course this causes alarm
It's in my notes.
because because everything is so everything that happens in this film is so terribly important to what happens next.
Oh my
The
God.
dog has gotten sick from the treatment.
Yes.
So in other news, this scientist daughter, our scientist daughter, Jessica or Jennifer,
Yes.
whatever her name is,
the super virgin in the white,
right?
right?
She has
Because
decided.
white means virginity. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she's our virginal possible main character.
Right. Innocent.
Everyone's a possible main character in this movie.
I guess.
You know? She comes down the stairs and meets up with fake Billy, and
Fake Billy.
and they have their confrontation because they're gonna.
Oh hell yeah!
They're both a little. But this one's heavy. This one's heavy.
It is. Fake Billy's like, that's my man.
Yeah. Well, no, and when she says that, she's talking about the girl's father. She's not. The daughter is. The daughter is like, you would fucking my dad. She doesn't say those words, but she says something along those lines. You know?
Yeah.
And fake Billy is all bullshit. Oh no, at this point, fucking Louis Creed from Pet Sematary comes in, and our scientist daughter Jessica or Jennifer, she bear hugs him,
Yeah.
and then Super Bitch is like, we're lovers,
Oh my God, we love us.
and so he makes out with her for a little bit until Jessica runs away. At which point he stops kissing
Yeah.
the bitch
Yeah.
and chases her
It's like, oh my God.
up the stairs. He's like, no, you don't understand. I'm Louis Creed.
I
From Pet
really
Sematary.
did. Yeah. Kiss, kiss, I love you.
Yeah.
She meant nothing to me, my daughter.
She didn't mean nothing to me.
No.
Nobody acts like a person in this.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Oh shit, we forgot the best part. We forgot the best part of that whole scene.
No, it's coming. There's like dancing, and then there's like, right? Are you talking about like
I don't know that
the
I am.
hot sex scene?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about... Is there a hot sex scene in this movie?
There is.
I'm talking about the best line.
What was it?
There's a lot of best lines in this movie.
Tell me.
But in this one, this is while the daughter and fake Billy are arguing.
Yes.
And she says, I'm going out to meet a friend. And fake Billy says, oh, I'm glad. I bet the lucky fellow's very well hung.
Oh, God, that's right.
Yes, I love that.
God.
And not 2 minutes later, in comes old Louis Creed from Pet Sematary and to claim pussy from everyone involved.
Everyone.
He gives the girl a kiss, and he's like, I can explain. And she's like, explain what? And then the other woman says that we're lovers. And then he makes out with her.
Yeah, he does.
We've had this discussion. We've discussed this.
Yes, he makes out with her, and she's got this like golden cockroach necklace, and then the other girl's like, "Oh my God, no!"
She runs up the stairs.
Yeah,
He's like, I can explain. I can explain.
I never loved her.
Okay, fine. Okay, because nothing in this movie fucking matters. Nothing in this movie ever goddamn
No,
matters.
but there's so much going on that it's honestly impossible to keep track of all of it.
It's like, I mean, something I appreciate about this film. God damn it! Something I appreciate about this film is that it reminds me, in spirit, of the spirit of Phantasm.
Oh, I love Phantasm.
And then it really just doesn't give a shit. It's not.
Doesn't
I don't
make
care
sense.
about your fucking stories and shit. I just. This is like just a thing, a nightmare thing. It's a scary movie.
It does make a lot more sense than some Phantasm shit, but it does have silver balls in it, and people freak out and like, shake around. They're like, oh my God, I have a silver ball in my mouth.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even talking about the silver balls. I'm talking about its nonsensicalness.
It is.
There's so much. Is like in Phantasm? Oh, you remember in Phantasm when all of a sudden in the first one, not in any of the other ones, I don't think, when there was just a big giant fucking killer fly.
Yeah, that's right.
You remember?
I do.
It's fucking badass.
Oh my God, I love Phantasm.
I love Phantasm so much.
God.
I do. Where the fuck were we?
I swear I have something about Dennis Reynolds. Where'd that come from?
Oh, that's because
Dennis.
that we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Dennis Reynolds.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, this is gonna be long.
I
so
know. Come on.
all right.
We might need to speed
So
this up.
Casey and Tony. Casey, who I earlier in the episode was referring to as Mario.
Yeah.
But now I see in my notes his name is Casey.
Oh, mustache
Casey.
guy.
The mustache guy. Who was killed earlier, I'm pretty
He
sure.
was. I swear to God he was. But then he's back.
I wonder, I didn't even think about this until recently, but I wonder if there were two mustache men, and I just think all mustache men look the same.
No. It's the same guy. No. Same guy.
I wonder.
No, really. Same guy.
I might have got it all wrong.
I don't think so. My notes really are all over the place, Seth.
Right.
Like, there's 50 million more fucking
It's really
things
hard to keep track
to
of things
talk
that if we're going to talk about
this
things.
goddamn
So we just need
movie.
to talk about what we can remember.
I don't even know. It's like
Well, I got some notes.
jumbling. I have some notes and they don't make sense, and it's all
Well,
jumbling.
no,
and
that
fucked
makes
up.
sense. So you remember that maid who hated spiders?
I know, and then she was making out with a spider.
Well, yeah,
in the
she's
kitchen. She's like, oh, baby.
Well, she
I
drinks a
love
ball.
spiders.
She drinks a ball.
Of course. And then she loves those spiders.
And after that is in my notes when I say Tony and the blonde get to fucking.
Oh, yeah.
And a ball hides in her panties.
In her panties.
Yep. And then I wrote ball from panties gets Tony.
Yeah.
Because you remember he tries to eat those panties.
That's right. He just about, like...
He just decides to eat the panties.
Yeah.
And the panties like, I'm going to eat you from the inside out.
Yeah, but doesn't that happen after the best post-coitus, like...
Yes.
Yeah, that happens after, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, he's like, oh...
You're going to do your performance.
That's after, right? Because
Yes.
he's really excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mistress Dandeli doing the post-coitus scene, sex between the blonde girl and Tony the Walkman guy. Dancing Tony, not Tony dancing.
No, not Tony Danson, but Dancing Tony.
Not
says-
like it is on his driver's license.
He says, you're great. And she says, I'm walking on air. Is it your fault? What's my fault? I wonder if it's you that makes me feel so fine, so deep down good. And he says, I hope so. You're great, Linda. I never had it so good. I liked it. Oh, I liked it. And I would have wanted a return match. Something like that. Something about a return match.
Like, I guess, is that tennis? I don't know what that is. Return match. Wonderfully done. Wonderful monologue.
It's not a monologue,
even though
though.
you just did 2 parts.
So deep down fine.
So deep down fine.
It's so deep down fine. Where you
love
at?
that. I love that dialogue.
I know, right? It's honestly some of the best.
And then the ball from the panties gets Tony.
Yes. Then the ball from the panties. And he's like all over the place. It's pretty crazy.
It's the greatest ball panty suffocation scene I've ever seen in my life.
Me too.
You don't even need the ball part.
No. But
if you don't have the ball, it's still my favorite panty suffocation.
He's like jerking all over the place, and he's, oh man, it's quite intense, really.
It's
something to behold.
Well, it's one more reason that Nightmare Weekend is one of a kind.
I know. So something to behold.
There are so many reasons.
You've never seen anything like it.
There are too many movies. I'm not saying it's a great movie. Street Trash is not a great movie.
Oh my God, but
it
it is one of a kind.
One of a kind.
You will never see anything like Street Trash.
Yep. The only reason, you know what? If John Waters made one movie, it would have been one of a kind. But he just kept making John Waters movies. And so none of them are one of a kind.
Nuh-uh, each
but
one
John
is
Waters
one of a
is just
kind.
a one of a kind among himself.
I know, but each one of his movies is super amazing. And one of a kind.
No.
Uh-huh. I don't care what you say.
I know you don't.
I know. I have my own opinion.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I know. In my notes, it says, Julie is an evil bitch. Is that where we're at? Yeah?
Is Julie the evil bitch?
She is.
Is that her name?
That is
I didn't know her name.
Her name is Julie.
Well, you know what I say. Just call her Julie.
Just
Everyone
call her
does.
Julie. Everyone does.
Fucking bitch. That bitch. I'm glad I have a name for her now. I'm glad she has a name.
Yeah.
You know, we've gone all this time.
Without
Hours now.
I know.
and she never had a name. That bitch Julie.
She's rotten. She really is. In her blue dress.
You know what, though? She's got a name. More than I can say for that scientist's daughter.
I know, Miss... I don't even remember her name.
I just call her Jennifer Jessica.
I don't even know. I know that one of my favorite things is that one test subject that combs her hair until she is completely bald.
Well,
it's pretty good.
That's like the first step. That's one of the first steps in. So this next part of the film was I really like this next part of the film.
Me too.
Because this was just where everything went fucking chaotic.
Chaos!
It started with her combing her fucking scalp off.
Yeah, and she's like,
But then you have everybody who's been affected by these balls.
Yeah.
Just turning into these mindless fucking flesh-tearing zombie monsters.
Zombie monsters.
That's great.
It is. So
That's great.
fun.
They were not, I don't know what the fuck they were.
I don't know either.
They were I don't know what the fuck they were.
Ball-eating zombie monsters.
They were like if, I don't know, I guess, I don't, it's like if Phantasm just made you get up and, I don't know. I don't know what they were.
I don't know where they were either. But it was just crazy. All, like, every second since there's green slime, and there was spider loving, and there was ball eating and panty eating and like insanity and it's crazy.
But it starts to, it's
Masturbating puppets,
we're getting into people just
zombie
fucking,
rape.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot.
People are puking.
Indeed.
People are crawling.
Crawling all over the place with their fabulous split dress.
People are attacking each other. It's grotesque.
My goodness. It's horrific. My notes are so hilarious to me. I'm like, you bitch.
Then that terrible
you
bitch.
turned my child against me.
That terrible bitch hits that scientist with a fucking battery.
Yeah.
Ties him up in the goddamn bathroom. And the whole goddamn... God, it seems like the fucking whole city is turning into goddamn ugly-ass zombies.
I know. I don't even know if they're zombies.
I don't know what the fuck they are.
What the fuck are they?
They're like tired... Finally, they're
tired.
Jesus goddamn Christ, those things. They were tired. They were tired zombies. They were tired.
You know what? Goodness.
You know what they were? They were a metaphor for the people who want you to turn your music down in the middle of the night. They come to your house and knock on your door and go, I'm trying to sleep, can you turn your music down?
Please.
You're like, fucking zombie, I'm rocking AC/DC. It always has to be AC/DC.
Please.
Earlier I was pissing and I was thinking about AC/DC because I do some of my best thinking when I'm pissing.
I know that.
And I was thinking about AC/DC.
You were.
And oh god, man, they sure were shitty, but they're sure great.
I love AC/DC.
You know, they're
I don't think they're shitty at all.
They're good at what they do. I don't know if what they do is that good.
They're awesome.
They might be. I'm not sure.
Dirty deeds.
Done
dirt cheap. Yes.
That song is awesome.
Yes.
That song is awesome.
It's goddamn awesome.
That song is great.
I love it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
One of my favorites.
Where are we at in this fucking movie?
I don't know. There's
we're in the middle of the chaos.
You bitch.
Everybody's wandering and puking and shit.
That's what I have
written and the doctor says, you bitch.
Bitch.
She hits him and ties him up.
Yes.
Crazy girls turning into ugly zombies.
How are you going to explain all this horror?
Dad shuts it down. He shuts it down.
He does. He does.
Not only that, so that shuts off the zombies. That like shuts off the zombies, right?
Completely.
Now, not only that, but Louis Creed from Pet Sematary, you know him from Pet Sematary, he has bamboozled the bitch.
Yeah, he has. He's like, fuck you, fucking bitch.
He has all the money. He's going to take Jessica to Kansas.
Yeah, he's in love.
And so they're getting ready to go to the hangar. They're getting ready to go to goddamn Kansas.
Yep.
The bitch follows them there.
Julie.
Yes, Julie the bitch.
That's right.
Julie the bitch.
Super bitch. Like, super powerful. Like, I'm just a bitch all the time.
The tarantula hating / loving maid.
Yes.
Is in the car with Jessica.
That's right.
Kills Jessica. Slits her throat.
She does.
Slits her fucking throat. Jessica's like, you're not going anywhere. And then the maid slits her throat. And does our heroine kill the maid before our ending?
Does she? You'll have to watch the movie.
Oh yeah, we won't give you that spoiler.
Fuck no,
We gave
we
you
won't.
all the other ones.
We did.
But we won't tell you if she killed the maid.
No.
But what we will tell you is that the guy from Pet Sematary, what was his name? Louis Creed. Louis Creed from Pet Sematary. So the garage door shuts and his head gets crushed.
It's pretty awesome.
And then our girl screams and it freeze frames on her face. And then the movie's over.
You just told them the end.
Well, if they had never seen the film and got halfway through this podcast, they'd be like,
You'd probably be sad if you didn't know the end. It's true. It's a wild ride.
It's
A wild ride.
You know, I mean, it's
crazy.
You know, sometimes a movie hits you to where you need to talk about it for
It's
like
true.
2.5 hours,
Maybe 4. I don't know.
It's just Nightmare Weekend was one of those. It's like because I'm crazy. It's like 2 of my favorite things.
Well,
A Nightmare and a Weekend.
I know. You came to bed and you were like, "Oh my god, I ate this," and I was like, "What?" And then you showed me, and I actually stayed up and watched the whole thing, and it was one of the most exciting moments of my life. It was like a roller coaster. It was like this weird, strange roller coaster. And even though it was like 4 a.m, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to watch this. And you know that's good when you can wake me up and I'm like, oh my god, I'll stay up for several hours watching this insane thing. And then I'm like, let's do a podcast. I think we had something else scheduled for our podcast. And I was like, no, we have to do Nightmare Weekend.
I don't remember. It was your pick. It was your pick time.
Yeah, it was. All I know is I was like, oh, so excited about this. It's unlike anything I have ever seen. What about you?
This fucking movie?
Yeah.
No, it's not like anything I ever seen. It's fucking. Here's the thing. Here's why I came in so surprised, is that it still doesn't make sense to me that that's the end of the film.
I know.
I keep thinking we still have a little bit more to watch. I'm not ready to give my closing thoughts.
I know.
You know?
It's abrupt.
It's
abrupt and
the movie didn't end as much as it stopped.
it just stopped. It's just done. And you're like, oh my god, so much happened. Is it actually finished? Or I think it just stopped. I think you're right. I think it just ended.
I can't recommend a movie enough. It's we saw it on the Troma Now app, actually.
Yes, Troma Now.
Which I suggest, if you can spend $5.99 a month or $5 a month, I think it is.
Support Troma.
To support Troma and
support Troma.
They put out a lot of films by young independent filmmakers, up and coming or not up and coming, just trash, whatever.
It's fucking
of it,
Troma. Support them.
They're not only a tremendously if you were to look at their creativity in their film output, which is great, which is amazing, which is my favorite thing about Troma, of course. That's what I associate with Troma. What is made by them creatively. The opportunities they give to people that to other filmmakers is absolutely just as important as anything else that Troma's ever done. And all that shit you can get on the fucking Troma Now thing. They don't sponsor us. We don't get paid to say this.
No.
I just said it because it felt like it.
Because fucking Uncle Lloydie.
Uncle Lloydie.
That's right.
He's a man who's enriched our lives for many years, and he could use a few dollars.
Absolutely, he's a treasure. We love our Uncle Lloydie.
So yeah,
You gotta listen to the song. You are a nightmare. Right at the end of this is
my God,
the song is awesome.
To Nightmare Weekend.
I love
the soundtrack
it.
To Nightmare Weekend.
You are a nightmare. It's all off and fucked up.
It's great. It's so good.
I love it. So good.
God, I'm just every time a movie like Nightmare Weekend ends, every time a one of a kind movie ends, I'm just kind of at a loss a little bit,
Well, this movie was so abruptly over.
It's really abruptly over.
It was really.
I'm not saying it's a great piece of art. I'm just saying it's a one of a kind movie.
It's over, and then this weird song happens.
And here's the thing: is I am seeing something like I've learned to predict these things.
Yes.
I have seen tiny bits of enthusiasm for this movie, The Manitou.
Oh, yeah, The Manitou.
Yeah. I watched it a couple weeks ago. I made you watch it.
Yes.
Manitou was great.
Yes, Manitou.
Manitou was great. I see that kind of cult following building up for other movies. It's fun. It's fun to watch it happen with movies.
I agree.
Anyway, I don't remember where that point was going, but
I don't know, but that ending song is pretty cool.
The Nightmare song.
Yeah.
So, do you remember? Here's the question. Do you remember? I'll put links to both these songs if I can find them in the comments on YouTube. But do you remember the song from A Nightmare on Elm Street? It's a nightmare, it's just a dream.
Yes.
So, which one do you think is better?
Ooh, that's hard. I kind of like them both, but
I think that
I guess the Nightmare song is better.
I think I think the one from this movie was better.
This one's fun because by the end of this goddamn movie, we're just like, what? It's over? And then the song starts and we're like, well, at least the song's kind of cool. Like, I mean, that's how it felt to me. I was like, oh my God, it's just over so abruptly. And then this song was just like, awesome. So I loved it even more. Is that how you feel?
I do.
Oh.
I do. And you know what else? Is when I watched this movie for the first time, I watched it at like 2:30 in the morning. And as soon as I came to bed...
Yes.
At 4 o'clock in the morning...
Yes.
You woke up and said, I love you, honey. Good night. And I said, I'll watch this bitchin' movie tonight. You said, what? I said, it's like nothing I ever seen before. It's my favorite movie I've ever seen in my life.
And coming from you, that was kind of a huge deal. So it was like,
Here's
what?
the thing. The greatest movie I've ever seen in my life should not come as a big deal for me.
I know, but it is.
It's just a title for the night for me.
But what is your favorite movie? It always gets me every time. Even though we've been together almost 20 years.
They're always just the dumbest. They're always just the silliest shit. I just love it.
You know, I always want to know.
But no, Nightmare Weekend was the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
It's unlike anything else.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. It's completely strange and ridiculous. And I enjoyed it thoroughly.
All right. Well, let us know what you thought. Listen to us on all your favorite. I'm just going into the fucking motions now.
Do it.
As far as the goddamn, you got to do it at the end of the podcast, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So in case you didn't realize what I was talking about, you should go and find us on all your favorite podcast things.
That's right.
If you're watching this on YouTube, just do the subscribe thing. Do that. If you're on YouTube, the bubbles will happen.
They will happen.
The bubbles.
Indeed, they will.
You know.
Subscribe and all that stuff.
Yeah. Right? Listen to us on all your... Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is that it?
I think so. It was really fun.
Hanging
out with every single one of you. And I'm glad that you were on this ride with us because I know you haven't seen this yet, but like, holy shit, it's kind of crazy.
I hope they have seen it. And
you need to go see it. If you haven't seen it, go. Oh my God. It's so much fun. And it's just, it's a wild, wild ride.
Oh, I hope they saw it before they listened to this.
I know, me too.
Me too.
We just told them everything. We ruined it for you if you haven't seen it already.
We gave them the warning.
I know, indeed we did. But still, I hope you've seen it.
It's an easy movie to see.
It's weirder than shit. So fun. It's like I don't even know what to call it. It's like a mind fuck.
It's a fucking mess.
It is.
It's kind of a mess.
Strange.
It's a mess. I think there were problems.
Oh, so many problems. And yet, so many perfect weirdness things. I mean, that... even just the last song. So good.
Right, the Nightmare song.
You are nightmare.
That's what I was asking. Which one is better? That one or the Dawkins song, Dream Warriors?
No,
not Dream Warriors.
I hate Dawkins.
I was asking between Nightmare and the one from the first Nightmare movie. The nightmare, it's just a dream.
Yeah.
No, it's nightmare. The end song of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean, I kind of hate Dawkins.
Oh no,
so
I can't
choose them. So
Dawkins
it's really hard. But this movie is, I mean, I have seen it a lot more often, so I guess I choose it. You have to listen to the song.
We'll listen to A Nightmare on Elm Street's end song.
Yeah.
One of these days.
Probably soon.
Maybe we'll watch A Nightmare on Elm Street for our podcast, but I don't think we might.
I don't know. There's 50 million other people that do it.
I feel like, I don't know that I have any one new thing to say.
No, I think it's
about
been
something
covered.
like that.
That shit's been covered.
I know. I'm not wearing a Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt today. I was yesterday, though.
You were.
Today, I'm wearing a Trauma shirt.
Trauma.
But no, so I love the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Me too.
Maybe we'll cover one. Maybe we'll give it, but I don't feel that it's necessary.
No, I think there's so many folks out there doing amazing podcasts that may cover that. We watch a lot of different strange, weird movies.
No, I think there are classic films that we could give a perspective on.
Sure.
I just don't know that A Nightmare on Elm Street is one of them.
No, I agree. I think you're right.
It's tremendously popular and it's possible it's been analyzed more than Halloween.
Probably. I hate the whole analyzing shit.
I don't. I love it.
Hate it.
I fucking love it.
I know. See, both of us are like ultra opposite. I hate that shit. I hate the idea of anyone like theorizing what some artist was doing with their shit when the artist is like, you know what? I don't actually want to talk about it. And I think about Salvador Dali a lot, where he's like, look, no message. And I like that. Like, I don't know. I grew up with an artist
like that
mother.
Too.
My mother was a strange artist, and we have several children that are artists, and the idea of just being like, this is the way it is. I wonder what this particular person was thinking. I think he was thinking this.
Honey.
I think he was thinking this while he was making this, or she was thinking this, or they were thinking this while they were making their movie. And honestly, I just feel like that is ridiculous. Like, we just watched something recently that was like, no, you don't get to know what I think about my art. And Salvador Dali is one of those people. But also, there are other artists that are like, fuck you. I'm not going to fucking explain to you what I fucking meant by this song or this movie or anything. And I respect that. I hate the idea of people just sitting around and being like, oh my God, I bet they meant this. Like, who the fuck are you to fucking know? You're not in their fucking mind. And most artists are like, you know what? I don't fucking know. So stop theorizing about it. It's irritating. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I know you like that sort of thing, but
I do.
Oh my God.
I love that shit. I love critical analysis.
I don't.
I do. I do.
Like, who the fuck is anyone to be like, oh my God, I think that the artist understand.
No.
I think that the artist is thinking this. I've watched their films, and I know enough to know that this artist is feeling or thinking these things because of all this stuff.
Right.
I don't like it.
Well,
you know it.
See, here's the thing.
I don't fucking dig it.
I have an opinion on those things.
I know you do.
I have an opinion on those things.
Yes.
And when I hear that there are other opinions on those things, I want to hear them.
Yeah.
I want to see if they're the same as mine, or if they're different than mine, or how they coincide with mine.
Yeah. I suppose I can understand that to a degree.
There are people who say the scariest movies in the world are The Conjuring and The Blair Witch Project.
That's fucking
and
ridiculous
for you,
to me.
That's ridiculous.
It's goddamn
for me,
ridiculous.
I'm like 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
No, that's ridiculous.
You know?
I'm sorry. I do not understand that. It is beyond my comprehension.
Right.
How anyone could be like, these movies are terrifying, and that's it.
Right.
But, you know, that's just my personal opinion.
Right.
Everybody has their favorite. I'm just kind of pushy and bitchy about my favorites and what I hate and what I like. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
I can't help myself.
We're still recording a fucking podcast.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like 5 hours later. But that's okay. I've had lots of fun. Have you?
I have had wonderful time.
This movie is like one of my favorite things
Did we finish
that
the
you've
movie?
ever shown me ever. Yes. It was a good time.
All right. So what should we do next time? So we can get them. Nobody's listening anymore. It's been so long.
Oh, I think people are listening, and we'll let them know what we're doing later.
Is there an after party?
Yeah, there's an after party. Fuck. They have no idea what kind of after party is coming after this.
Neither do I. What are you talking about?
Cigarettes. I've been plotting.
Cigarettes? Did you say cigarettes?
No, I said secrets.
Oh.
I've been plotting for a while.
Are there cigarettes in the secrets?
No, but there's
I want
rope.
some cigarettes.
Rope. No cigarettes.
I seen in a cartoon once there were cigarette ropes. I'm not certain that I did, but I can't imagine I didn't. I'm Master Seth, your master of ceremonies.
And Mr. Standalai, your queen of creep.
We will see you in your nightmares.
Oh, I hope so.